Right. So that is week one in the bag. Pretty happy with my results for week one. Lost 2 pounds, lost 0.1% in my body fat, and lost 0.3%, or is BMI a percent? Maybe, but 0.3 on my BMI. So I went from 220 to 218 on my weight. On my body fat percentage, I went from 32.7 to 32.6. And on my BMI, 33.5 down to 33.2. So what did I do right this past week? Well, what I did right was I was very consistent with my exercise, and I was very consistent with getting my steps. So my 6,000 to 10,000 per day goal, I hit that every single day. And so I'm very pleased with that. So with that said, what's one thing that I got wrong this past week? Well, I kind of snacked a bit too much, particularly on these chocolate almonds that I have access to. I'm going to have to keep an eye on these chocolate almonds because, let's face it, they're absolutely delicious. They're absolutely delicious, but they're loaded with sugar and saturated fat. And so as somebody who's trying to lose weight, as somebody who's dieting and exercising, these almonds, these chocolate covered almonds, are absolutely gonna be a setback for me. And so for me, they're a setback, not because I have one or two, but if I allow myself to have a couple almonds, chocolate covered almonds, I want to clarify that, right? Almonds are okay. Chocolate covered almonds, that's a different story. If I allow myself some chocolate covered almonds, I'm not the type to stop until I've gone a bit too far. So over this past week, there were 2 days that I allowed myself a couple chocolate covered almonds, particularly a handful. Well, one handful turned into 2 handfuls. 2 handfuls turned into 3 handfuls. 3 handfuls turned into 3.5 handfuls. Each time I allowed myself 1 handful of almonds. So that certainly was a little bit of a setback this week. But you know what? Hey, each week I'm going to analyze something I got right, something I got wrong, because the thing that I got right, I'm going to want to continue doing that. And I'm going to want to improve on that. And the thing that I got wrong, well, I got to learn from that. I got to learn how getting this thing wrong sets me back, and then recognizing that I shouldn't be doing it moving forward. So my steps, which I got right, I absolutely love doing that. That's something I love doing. I love walking, and I love walking around new areas. So in some upcoming videos, I'm going to be in different areas around where I live. And we're going to get to walk around and see those areas together. Some of these areas I've been to, some of these areas I haven't been to before. So I'm going to get my steps in. As I said, 6,000 to 10,000 steps per day is my goal. That's in addition to doing the gym. So on a gym day, I still have to hit 6,000 to 10,000 steps. Something that I want to do moving forward that I haven't had the opportunity to do yet is introduce HIIT training into my program. So I wanted to start it this past week, but I was too tired. So on a gym day, I'm certainly too tired at the end of the day And on my off days, I'm getting my 6 to 10,000 steps, and the next day is the gym. So I'm kind of hesitant to do the HIIT training because I'm concerned it's going to influence my next day exercise, that my legs are going to be too tired. So that's something that I got to find time to work in. My goal is to start at 15 minutes twice per week. So a very realistic goal. And not 15 minutes straight, but 1 minute on, 1 minute off for 15 minutes. If you've seen some of the pictures, I do have a very large gut. Otherwise, the rest of me is not so big. So I have a very large protruding gut. I mean, 33.5% body fat, or sorry, 32.6% body fat. I mean, that's a lot of body fat. And then a 33.5 BMI is obese. So I carry it all in my belly, and I feel it when I move around a lot. I'm a terrible runner, and I'm a terrible runner because I'm got a big old gut. So I need to introduce this HIIT training. I'm not exactly sure how or when I'm going to be able to do it, but I will do it. So that's something I need to improve moving forward. But overall, week 1, I consider it a fantastic success. My goal is to lose weight slowly and consistently through lifestyle changes. I don't want to do a crash diet. I don't want to do super calorie restriction with very high cardio, because I'm not going to be able to maintain that as a lifestyle moving forward. I want to introduce something into my life that I'm going to maintain consistently moving forward. So diet, exercise are things that, let's face it, I'm going to have to learn as I go. And I'm going to have to make mistakes. And I'm going to have to recognize that I made mistakes. And I'm going to have to embrace those mistakes. And I'm also going to have to recognize when I get it right. Because I will get it right. And I have to repeat getting it right. So this is my game plan. And week 1 worked well for my game plan. I'm happy with week 1. And so today is the wrap up of week 1, I guess day 7, right? I'm very happy. I'm very pleased with my results. And I know the road ahead is very long. It's very long because this is a lifestyle change. This is not a short-term fix to my lifestyle that put this gut here. And I think that's the key, right? Like, this gut is not from magic. It's not from some sinister plot that occurred. This gut is from me enjoying life a bit too much. This gut is from my choices. This gut is from me putting certain things into my mouth that taste delicious. Chocolate, candies, cakes, right? This is from me eating that way. And I embrace that. I embrace that it's me who put this gut on. And it's me who's going to take this gut off. Something else that I want to share that I'm pretty good at with my diet. I prefer organic foods. I prefer free range meats. I prefer grass fed. This is a bit on the expensive side. but it's something that I've found important for my diet. So when I can't afford free range or grass fed, I buy as close as possible to that. Same with vegetables. As much as possible, I try to buy organic vegetables, but if I can't afford it that week, then I buy regular vegetables. And the key there is that I need to prepare my own food. One of the many things that have put this gut on is I have a pretty ingrained habit of eating out very often. Too tired at the end of the day to cook. I'm too tired during the middle of the day to have something that I pre-cooked the night before to eat. So I just go out to eat. So I go out to eat for lunch, I go out to eat for dinner. And I don't know how that food was prepared. And I certainly don't know how many calories are in that food. I can estimate how many calories are in that food, but pretty clearly, I'm not good at estimating how many calories are in that food. So that's something I have to get better at. I have to get better at recognizing that I'm going to have to cook my own food. I'm going to have to make the majority of my own meals. And one more thing that I want to change, and I'm reluctant to change it right now for some reason, maybe because I'm not sure how it would go, but I'm gonna have to start measuring and weighing my food, because it's pretty clear I'm overestimating my calories. That's gonna be further down the road. I don't want to introduce too much right now that I get myself overwhelmed. One thing per week. Recognize what I got right, recognize what I got wrong, recognize what I can continue to improve. And I'm pretty happy with that. I'm very happy with that. But I also want to keep an eye on things moving forward that do have to change. And so that's my week 1 update. Thank you for listening. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Life is good.